All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And peace, love, and salutations to the Akim that's out there laboring, that's out the hopeful elect, that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And pretty much we're seeing the crumbling of society in real time. And what I have here on the screen is this podcaster by the name of Nick Fuentes. Okay, he pretty much um, represents the growing youth, Edomite youth of this country here in Babylon. They pretty much, are on the Republican type of ideology that they have, the MAGA ideology that they have. They're coming to the realization by their leader, DJ Trump, that they have been duped. You know, they pretty much have been pretty much don't have a seat at the table, so to speak. Okay, the crumbs are not falling off the master's table. You know, resources are pretty much drying up for them, and I'm talking about your everyday average Joe Blow six pack. Okay, the MAGA man. You know, the one that pretty much, wants to point the finger and gaslight everyone around him. You know, he has a problem with the immigration. He has a problem with, these exploitation of crime. You know, and they follow, pretty much, the elites. They pretty much have them in their emotions because they put these things on the TV through their mainstream media and pretty much pulverize it. You know, they exaggerate the crime rate. They exaggerate the plight of everything that goes wrong in this country has to do with the immigration problem. You know, and this all goes back to the Lyndon Baines quote, that he had said while he was in office. And Baba Kashan, let me just pull it up real quick, just to get the title right. Pull it up on AI, okay? And pretty much the quote is, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice that you're picking his pocket. Hell, he'll give you somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you, And that's pretty much the sentiment of what the Republican Party has done. Although Lyndon Baines Johnson was a Democrat, okay? But, when you talk about this, red, blue, Democrat, Republican, this is all a game. It's all of a show, of a distraction to the people, to have some type of party affiliation and to think that one party is working in the behalf of their own. You see? All right? But pretty much this is the business model of the Republican Party. That was always their business model. And this is the reason how Trump pretty much got his second term. Now, you're having now what is called voters' remorse by the so-called vagabond Edomite. Okay? And Nick Fuentes pretty much represents that voting bloc. And it's pretty much a growing number of young white males, okay, that pretty much feel like they've been duped from the promises that Trump pretty much reneged on. And pretty much it all came, full stop blown out by the fact is that when he had attacked a lot of the Republican podcasters that had supported him, you see? And pretty much now he pretty much was speaking from in an elitist position and pretty much looking down on the people that I got him in office to begin with. But pretty much without any further ado, I'm pretty much going to play a little bit of this video. This is fair use. I do not own the rights to this video. Pretty much this is for educational purposes. And without any further ado, let's hear a little bit of what he has to say. And pretty much we're going to pretty much stop it here and there and get some scriptures. All right, so without any further ado.
Has never, ever in my entire life done anything for me to make my life better, to make my life easier? Never. Never. What are the kinds of issues that I'm facing? Home ownership is unaffordable. Has the Republican Congress done anything about that? Absolutely not. The job market is cooked. It's cooked because of H-1B visas. It's cooked because of high-skilled and low-skilled immigration. As the
And we talk about the H-1B visas that he's speaking about. Now, this is a visa pretty much that is in place in this country where they would bring in foreign students of higher education and pretty much give them jobs here within the tech industry, within medicine and science. Now, this is not pretty much any type of competition to the average American person, because the average American person pretty much mostly is blue collar. Okay, now you're bringing in these other people that come from these other countries that are pretty much much more advanced in education, and the job markets are pretty much getting these agencies or to bring them in. Okay, so this is something else that they want to complain about. You know, when the mediocre Edomite is not even educated enough in that capacity to even compete for those jobs on a large scale. Okay, you got some people of higher learning that pretty much can get those jobs, but it is not to the factor where that is affecting them. But they want to point out everything. Okay, they've been duped into thinking that everything around them, okay, people that are around them of these other nations are the reason why that this place is declining. Okay, and now they understand now that this was all pretty much a ploy to lead them astray, so to speak. Okay, but let's continue.
OP done anything about that? Absolutely not. They sent us to war in Iraq, Afghanistan. Now they want us to fight a war in Iran. This country's cooked because of feminism. Things like no-fault divorce have made marriage very unattractive. Do Republicans even talk about that? Absolutely not. College is unaffordable. Have the Republicans tried to wipe student loans or make college more affordable? Absolutely not. Name one thing that the Republican Party has ever done explicitly for young white men for their direct and tangible benefit. They have done nothing. They cut the corporate tax rate. They bombed Iran and Syria for Israel. They moved the embassy. They've deregulated the oil and gas industry, deregulated the tech industry. They've done all these things for the billionaire oligarchs, all these things for the business interests, for the foreign interests. They've even done things for women and minorities in an effort to appease them, to expand their vote with those groups. They've done nothing for me, ever. And yet, they act like they own me. They expect.
And that goes back to the quote by Lyndon Baines Johnson. That was basically a blueprint to have the everyday Joe Schmo Edomite vote in a certain way. Okay, and I always say that racism pretty much is a so-called poor white man syndrome. Okay, because you have the lowest of the Edomites that pretty much are the most outwardly racist. Okay, Edomites that have money or have some type of resources, they're pretty much, their racism is pretty much more covert, so to speak. Okay, you see, all right, but this pretty much goes back to Jacob and Esau, man. Okay, that perpetual hatred. All right, but they have extended, their hatred, okay, across the world. Okay, and pretty much look down on anybody of that does not look like them. Okay, but real quick, let's get some scriptures. Let's go to Obadiah. Okay, because right now, pretty much things are being found out about the powers that be. Okay, all right, and this is going to lead to ultimately some type of civil war, man. You know, all right. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. All right, speaking about Edom, okay, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And pretty much that pride has trickled down to the everyday Joe Schmo six pack, okay, that believed that sentiment, that believed in the dominance of America, that believed in colonization, okay. As long as they had pretty much, the crumbs fell off the table and they benefited from it, okay. But now you're seeing that they don't have a seat at the table anymore, and that the crumbs pretty much are drying up, so to speak. The faucets have been turned off, okay, and they pretty much, the voting block that Nick Fuentes pretty much represents, okay, is hung out to dry, so to speak. You see, okay, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. Okay, and pretty much the Lord is bringing this place down, morally, okay, economically, okay. People pretty much are waking up to now them being wronged by the policies that are put in place. Okay, you see, all right, they're understanding now. The Nick Fuentes and company and the people that pretty much wholeheartedly follow him, which is a lot of the younger generation, and pretty much the Edomite nationalists. Okay, they understand now that there's no hope for them, man. Okay, you see, that whole morale in this place is down, and pretty much they are going to need their manpower, so to speak, to fight this world's war that's coming up. Okay, you see, all right, and now this place is at an impasse, man. Okay, because you got to understand that the things that he's crying about, okay, as far as making ends meet, okay, that's not happening anymore. Okay, the scriptures speak about, man, those curses, man, coming upon them, man. You see, okay, let's get that real quick, man. Just thought about that real quick. This is Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 7, and he's pretty much speaking to his own people. And it says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Okay, so we know that the Lord's will is working in the earth, man. We understand now that these curses are falling upon our enemies, man, and the ones that hate us, man. And these people, the number one hatred that they have is for the Israelites, man. You Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans chiefly. Okay, all right, that make up pretty much the 12 tribes. Okay, all right, them curses are pretty much are being put upon them, man. Okay, because this is something that we've been crying about from day one, about being marginalized and being not getting any type of foothold to have a so-called level playing field. But this place was never set up for you people to have a level playing field with your oppressor, man. Okay, Jacobs always has had the mindset to depend on this man for every damn thing that they have. Okay, that beggar's mentality. Okay, instead of dying on 10 toes down, you rather live on your knees, man. Okay, you see, and that's pretty much what Jake has pretty much reduced themselves to. But now you're seeing that now these people are crying, unfairness. Okay, and what's the sentiment that we have? that they have to pretty much pull themselves up by the bootstraps, man, because that was always the sentiment, the message that was given to you Jakes out there, man. Okay, when you used to complain about injustices and things not going your way, but now we're seeing now, okay, you know, Joe Blow Six Pack and company pretty much complaining now. Okay, you see, and there's nothing that they can do about it, man, because this is essentially all the will of the Lord at the end of the day, you know. Okay, real quick, let's get a scripture. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 10 verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievances which they have prescribed. And the grievances are going to get more grievous and grievous to the people as a whole here, man. Okay, all right, including the stay of the tribes thereof, man. Okay, but okay, the Joe Blow Six Pack is pretty much getting caught up in this as well, and he is expendable. Okay, okay. The powers that be don't give a damn about them, and they're pretty much waking up to that fact, man. Okay, you see, and it says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. You know, it's pretty much speaking about our own people, though, man. But the unrighteous decrees, woe unto them, man, because the fact is that, okay, not only do they have blood on their hands from the Lord's people, okay, but they also, okay, are systematically destroying their own kingdom. They're systematically destroying their own society, man. Okay, all right. The counsel, the wise counsel is a thing of the past, man. It's fading away. The wise counsel that they still believe that they have is pretty much working against them. Okay, you see, all right, and pretty much, man, there's none understanding in him that the scriptures say. You know, okay. From there, let's go to our Proverbs. I'm just going with the spirit, though. I may probably play a little bit more of what he has to say, but pretty much we get the gist of what you know these people now, okay, that they're pretty much essentially complaining about, man. Okay, they're complaining about all of a sudden now. They're complaining about injustices, man. Okay, you see, all right. This is Proverbs chapter 16. Let's start at verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And that's been the whole, mindset of this place, man. Pride, even when you want to go back to now, we're heading into the so-called midterm elections, but, 2 years ago when he got back into office, okay, that pride was there, man. Okay, that pride has been there, when he, through his first term, they feel like they pretty much had their foothold, and was trying to get their groove back, so to speak, man. Okay, they wanted to bring things back to the old glory days, man. But this man is not the hunk of the earth anymore, man. Okay, that pretty much that David Hasselhoff type, pride. Okay, being a hunk of the earth, man, is a thing of the past, man. Okay, you see, all right. But it says, better is it to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Okay? And that's what their leader has done, aka the king of Babylon, man. Okay? All right? He's pretty much have gone off the rails on his Truth Social page, putting out all kinds of quagmire comments, okay? Pretty much was used to manipulate the market, okay? And him and his sons and his cohorts have benefited from that, man. Okay? They were hedging against the stock market, okay? Because now it says what? Better is to be humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. And they pretty much are dividing the spoil with the proud right now, man. Okay? Their leader, okay? You see? All right? And pretty much, they're saving up these things, heaping up treasures for the last days, so to speak. Okay, but the Lord said that they're gonna actually vomit it back up. Okay, you see? All right. From there, let's go to Mark chapter 38. Let's start at 35. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my name's sake in the Gospels, the same shall save it. Now it's pretty much essentially speaking for our people, but this man is pretty much putting situational circumstances in order, lining it up. Okay, he's creating this situational circumstances to bring on this MOTB. Okay, and pretty much have to give up certain things to pretty much function in the society, man. Okay, and this man has no integrity, man, because everybody has pretty much been compromised and bought and paid for, man. Okay, it says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul," man? And that's what's happening right now, man. These people are trying to amass riches upon themselves, man. Meanwhile, the integrity to keep this place like a well-oiled running machine has ceased to pretty much continue, man. Okay, you see, the riches have blinded these people, and the integrity of this place has been compromised, man. Okay, you see, there's no honor among thieves. It says, right? What shall a man profit? For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Okay? Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels, man. And that's pretty much speaking to our people, because you have our people that are pretty much caught up in the middle of this situation, because they're choosing sides. Okay? And really, when it just boils down to, it just pretty much boils down to good and evil, man. Okay? You see? Not political parties. And this is a tactic that they use as to keep the people divided, man. Okay? And what the scriptures say about a kingdom divided, man, it shall not stand. Okay? So this has always been a ploy, and it's being exposed in real time, man. Okay? All right? To pretty much go upon that, let's talk about let's see here. Just want to pull up something. Give me 1 second. It says culture wars versus economic issues. In modern U.S. politics, across parties at different times, debates about identity, race, or social issues can dominate headlines, while wages stagnate, healthcare costs rise, housing become less affordable. And this is what's happening, okay? This is exactly what's happening, because people are focused on the wrong things. They're focusing on their differences, and pretty much through the power of the mainstream media, of highlighting, okay, and sensationalizing certain stories, man. And people taking to Twitter, they're taking to social media to pretty much voice their opinions, argue back and forth, okay? People have certain ideologies, and pretty much and take that ideology and argue with other people of different ideologies back and forth on a comment board, man. Okay? Meanwhile, they are pretty much having these things in place to put the squeeze on the people, man. Okay? So this is essentially what's happening, man. Okay? And now the MAGA people have woken up to this, man, and they're mad about it, man. Okay? And this is the reason why you're going to see a sedition amongst men. Okay? All right? because the times are going to get to the point to where people are going to lose it, man. People are going to take to the streets. People are going to take matters into their own hands, man, by any means necessary, man. Okay, because why? It's because resources will dry up, man. Okay, a famine is on the horizon here, man. Okay, all right. This is a what you want to call a slow leaking bleed out, man, of this place, man. Okay, all right. And the scriptures pretty much back that whole scenario up, man. Okay, you see. From there, let's go to Isaiah. Let me pull a few more precepts. Isaiah chapter 14. Verse 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Okay, and we're coming into that time, man. Okay, we're coming into that time, man, where the people are pretty much waking up to this man and his ultimate plans that he has, man. Okay, and the Joe Schmo six pack understands now that none of these people really care about them, man. Okay, and they feel that they're losing their status in this kingdom, man, and which they are. Okay, this place is being brought to a very dark and lowly place, man. You see? Okay, all right. You see, this whatever this man has been doing to benefit his own pockets. Okay, speaking about the powers that be. Okay, the pretty much the trickling down effect. Okay, to the Joe Schmo six pack doesn't benefit anymore, man. Okay, because they don't see it happening. Okay, all right. They're at a point now where they are pretty much feel like they're in the driver's seat now, speaking about the powers that be, and have no need for the people's opinion anymore, man. Okay, so if you haven't noticed, the president, he's pretty much not even going to Congress and taking votes. He's just putting out executive orders left and right, man. Okay, and bypassing the Congress, which is already compromised anyway. Okay, most of them are pretty much bought and paid for, man. Okay, so they pretty much are going to go along with the get along, man. You see? Okay, that's just the way it is, man. And this is what the Lord has prescribed for this place to bring it to his knees, man. Okay, all right. Let's go to Job real quick. This is of Job, chapter 20. All right, start about 18. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. So everything that this man has is swallowing down. Okay, everything this man is amassing to himself. Speaking about the powers that be, the elites. Okay, they're not going to swallow it down. And the restitution, the payback, will be exactly what he has amassed on the world, man. Okay? Okay? All right? Rape, robbery, murder. Okay? You see? Because he had oppressed and had forsaken the poor, and because he had violently taken away a house which he buildeth not. Okay? And this is pretty much going into resources that he has taken around the world, man. Okay? And he is still in that total mindset of doing that, man. Okay? It says, verse 20, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desired. Okay? You see? There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. Okay? Because this man is going to be as though he is not. Okay? This man will lose every single thing that he has pretty much taken upon himself. All of the ill-gotten gain. Okay? All right? All right? It's going to fly away. Okay? In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, man. And that goes into the laborers, man. Okay? All right? Every hand of the wicked is going to be upon this man and the powers that be, man. Okay? because now they understand that there's no hope for them, man. So they're gonna attempt to take the matters into their own hands, man. And this is a dangerous recipe for this place, man. Okay, because again, a place that has more guns than people, man. Okay, is a very dangerous situation, man. Okay, so pretty much chaos is coming to this place, man. Okay, and it's all pretty much done by design at the end of the day. Okay, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. And we know ultimately, the showstopper, okay, the curtain call is pretty much those ICBMs, man. Okay, which will be used, man. Okay, they will be used. Okay, these other nations, the intention, the Lord's will is for it to happen, man. Okay, and they're gonna pretty much move to his perfection, man. Okay, at the end of the day. Okay, you see, so this man pretty much, is at an impasse with the powers that be. All right, Nick Fuentes and who he represents, man. Okay, you see, but pretty much, man, we're gonna continue to see the curses fall upon our enemies, man. Okay, Brakadai Hao Bashem Yahushua, man. Okay, and we're gonna see how this pretty much progresses and accelerates, man, in the times that are coming, man. Okay, because the Lord is pretty much speeding this thing up, man, and we're seeing these things happening in real time, man. Okay, you see? All right, so with that, I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Bakakwadash, Shalom.